If you're wondering why my coffee cup doesn't have a handle, anyway, this video is going to be all about Neupro. So if you're interested in the transdermal rotigotine patch for Parkinson's, stick around. To start off, I thought I'd just explain really quick my understanding of the difference between Neupro, which is the medication I take, and Sinemet or carbidopa-levodopa, which is like the gold standard medication for Parkinson's. My medication is called Neupro. It's also called rotigotine. It's a transdermal patch that I wear 24 hours a day. The second I take it off, I have to put another one on. Sinemet has to be taken multiple times a day, and the timing of those medications are what many people find to be challenging about the medication, among other things. The reason Sinemet is the gold standard for Parkinson's disease is because it actually replaces what we're losing. So it replaces the dopamine in your brain. Neupro does not do that. So you can think of it like Sinemet is a dopamine replacement. Neupro is what's called a dopamine agonist. It binds to the dopamine receptors in my brain and mimics dopamine, but it is not dopamine. So it is technically less effective in managing symptoms. I mean, people can take Sinemet and have really, really reduced symptoms for a short period of time during the day. My symptoms are not super reduced, but they're very manageable. And there's a number of reasons why I prefer this medication, which we'll get into in a minute. First, I'd like to talk about the side effects, of which there are many. Again, I don't take Sinemet, so I'm not speaking from experience. I can tell you what I've seen other people complain about, which is these on and off periods. So basically, you have to take the medication multiple times a day, and while you're like waiting for it to work, your symptoms can come back in full force, and it can be really frustrating and even a little distressing from what I've seen. But I've also seen that it can give some people like crazy good management of their symptoms, like almost totally taking their symptoms away. I don't know that that's everyone's experience, but there's a reason it's a gold standard medication, and it's because it's the only real dopamine replacement. Some of the side effects that people complain about with Sinemet or carbidopa-levodopa are dyskinesia, which is like a sort of pulling, rolling motion. So that plus the on and off periods is what I've seen are people's sort of big complaints. I'd really be interested to know, y'all's experience with this medication, because I will probably have to go on it someday. While I really like the medication I take, that does not mean it doesn't have a ton of side effects. Sulfite sensitivity, falling asleep during activities of daily living, hallucinations and psychosis, symptomatic hypotension, syncope, just means like passing out, impulse control or compulsive behaviors, elevation of blood pressure and heart rate, weight gain and fluid retention, dyskinesia, that like rolling movement, application site reactions, augmentation and rebound, restless leg syndrome. The medication is also used to treat restless leg, withdrawal symptoms, and fibrotic complications. So that just gives you a little idea of this medication and the things to consider when you're thinking about taking it. Starting off with the side effects I've experienced from Neupro, we're gonna start off with that phrase symptomatic hypotension and the heat application issue. I am a very active person. I exercise a lot, and I really like to do yoga. I really like this one teacher at my gym, and she teaches a hot yoga class. And I keep trying to take it, and each time I can tell my blood pressure's dropping, so I just lay down and I fall asleep. It's not like I'm like passing out and hitting my head or anything, but I've been trying to go, I'm like, maybe I can build up a tolerance, like I can do this, because I've had issues in the past with yoga, pre-Parkinson's, pre-Neupro, where I would get dizzy really easily with inversions, so I kind of thought this was that. And then, like really, more recently than I care to admit, I was like, hot yoga is like a concentrated heat. I wonder if my Neupro is like dropping my blood pressure and my heart rate so fast that I can't like do it. I looked it up, yes, that's exactly what's happening. So, learn something new every day. In addition to the heat intolerance thing, I really do experience a bit of skin irritation with this medication. Obviously, it's not so much that I'm not taking it, and I'm not sure it'll even show up on camera, but my body is covered in these adhesive like markings. Can you guys see that? and the patch can get pretty itchy. However, I found for me personally, my arms, I have almost no discomfort. Whenever I put the patch on my stomach, it is so angry, so red, so itchy, but I have to put it there sometimes because like I run out of space on my arms and I like have to give them a break. So what has been an issue is the impulsivity and compulsivity that comes with dopamine agonists. Actually, my YouTube friend, Parkinson's and the Invisible Man, I'm gonna link his video below, did a really incredible, really honest and important video about his experience with dopamine agonists. And I really would encourage you to watch it because my experience and his experience is very different. And I think it's important to see how different these medications can affect you. It really drives home the point that it's not every treatment is good for everyone. And I just think his story is important. So I'm gonna link it below and probably right here. When side effects say things like compulsive or impulsive behaviors, what they're talking about is like developing addictive behaviors to substances, hypersexuality, gambling, overspending, those types of things. And I will be honest, I really struggled with compulsive shopping. I feel like pretty embarrassed by that, but it is my true experience. I really struggled with compulsive spending when I went up from 1 milligram to 2 milligrams of Neupro. We had just moved into this house and I was like, it has to be furnished. Like we need furniture and items. So it took me a minute to really realize what was happening. And honestly, it really took my husband being like, hey, packages on packages, like we should just probably slow down. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And I couldn't really slow down. I really noticed I had no impulse control between me wanting the thing, finding the thing, and getting the thing. There was no like break in my brain between that because like the kickback I got emotionally from the dopamine agonist of like finding the thing and getting the thing I wanted was so comforting that I was like, this is the life. Obviously, that's not good. Aside from a few like higher credit card bills, it hasn't really been an issue except that like I'm struggling to control my actions, which is an issue. And the only reason it hasn't become a real big issue is that I had to put a limit on my debit card and like take my credit card out of everything. I don't have it on like any online shopping things. I don't have Apple Pay. I don't have my credit cards on my phone. And I have a limit on my debit card to help me because like I was not able to do it successfully. It was kind of shocking, honestly. And I did tell my doctor about it. And she said, let me know if it gets worse because this can be a real problem for some people. And thankfully it has not gotten worse. I'm only on 3 milligrams of Neupro and I'm very aware that if I go up, it'll probably be a little more difficult and I'm just gonna have to adjust because I really like this medication and there's a reason I'm taking it. This is perfectly timed because it's time to change my Neupro patch. So I just tried to eyeball, like, I don't think my lamb has had one in a while, but I try not to put them directly over my tattoos. So I think, and on my bicep, it's a little bit more tender. I think I'm gonna put it right here. So now that I picked my spot, I'm opening the package. I'm like a beauty Parkinson's YouTuber right now, look. Wild. And the first thing I do actually is warm it up in my hands. When you warm it up with your body heat, it just adheres better to your skin. I kind of fold it in half. There's these clear things. I don't know if you can see. Taking this one off at a time so that I can touch the other plastic side. And then I'm just gonna hold that there, use my body heat again to kind of really help that adhesive adhere. And I kind of flip this side and then again. Oh my gosh. This is so funny. I forgot to take off my other one. You guys, cardinal sin. Okay, well, now that we're here, you see that red mark? Probably not. Now that that's on there, it'll be on there for 24 hours until tomorrow morning when I wake up and change it again. Which really brings me to the number one reason I love this medication. There are no on and off periods. I have uninterrupted medication delivery for 24 hours, and it makes my life really comfortable. I don't have to like prepare for an off period, plan things around my medication because it's just always on, and that really works for me. I will say my Parkinson's disease, I don't want to like downplay what I'm going through, but it is not progressed to the point of affecting my activities of daily living in such a way that I can't complete them. I don't require a ton of symptom management or perfect symptom management to like exercise, play tennis, walk around my house, do the things I need to do. And it's for that reason that this medication is right for me, because right now I'm not really requiring sort of the heavy hitting effectiveness of carbidopa levodopa. Let's wear blue mascara today, because like, why not, right? Life is too short. Okay, I think that's it for today. I hope this video was educational. I really appreciate the relief that Neupro has given me. It is not for everyone. And so I would just really caution you, just don't make any of those big decisions without consulting your provider, because they're there to help you. And if they're not helpful, get another one. I hope you have a good day, week, and month, and I'll see you next time.